Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast. Sean Higgs coming at you here. It's Monday, the 12th of May. Welcome on in. As always, Chip Chirimbes, Doug Upstone joining me here today. NBA action. We got some game 4 playoff picks and predictions, maybe some player props here between the Celtics and the Knicks. And we have, who's the second game there? Minnesota Timberwolves and the Golden State Warriors on tap. Before we get to that, you're here. Nice. Give it a little thumbs up here on the YouTube channel. Maybe a thumbs down. Maybe you don't like the picks. Maybe you're like, you know what? I'm against this guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That's fine as well. Leave a comment before the game start on side, total. You got another prop? Put in the chat. We enjoy the comments. Keep it normal. We don't want to get any kind of frisky talking there about furries or belly buttons or anything else you got going on in your personal life. Let's keep it sports. Let's keep it a little above the waistline. Healthy, fun stuff here. Now, these are free pick videos. We are 54 and 56 with NBA. We got time left to go on a monster run here. We go 2-1 every day for the next 3 weeks, and then we're staring at a 75 and 62, and we're rolling along. That's the goal. That is the goal here with the free picks. But you want our best bets, the cream of the crop. The top plays, you head on over to gamblersworld.net, our sponsor, because that is where you're going to get all of our best bets. Chip Chirimbes on an absolute run this past weekend. Doug is doing well also. It's us three, a baker's dozen of top handicappers and our premium picks for you to choose from. And as always, the 3, 7, 30 packages, it doesn't change. They're all guaranteed to show you a profit or we credit you back. Daily pass, which is, I think, a great deal, $69.99, especially when you have playoffs between NBA, hockey, and daily baseball. Capper's going to put up, 2, 3, 4 packages. Save yourself some money, get a day pass, and there's that. Well, you want long term? You can buy a season pass, but let's be honest, most people jump into those for the football season, not as much as MLB and stuff like that. But we have it for you. If you want a Major League Baseball pass, it'll break it down to about $25 a week. And us three, we love our MLB. You're going to get your money's worth on a $25 a week package where it breaks down to per pick over a course of the next almost 5 full months between the playoffs in October and stuff like that. So gamblersworld.net. Support one of the cappers here on the show today. Maybe like another capper on the site, use the leaderboard. Head to gamblersworld.net for our best bets and get on it. Now, I mentioned Chip, so I'll jump right into Chip because he replies to the email with his Megabucks run and all this good stuff. So sell away, baby. You are hot. And not just because you're living in Vegas, or you got that crazy shirt on today. You're feeling bold. You're on a run. Go.
I'm Aztecian today, but
there you go.
The NBA is finally back in stride for me. I had a really horrible run for a while, but the playoffs are here. The big games, the big money, and the big game player is ready for you with an 8-play winner. I've hit 4 straight Megabuck winners, 6 of the last 7 in the playoffs, and baseball's 9-5 with our best bets. Yesterday, stubbed my toe, made the wrong choice. But we're sitting here with the big game winners each and every day, and I'm telling you, it's going to go over a long period of time now. We've got such a great resume from the NBA. I mean, an entire season and half the playoffs are done already. So we have a lot to work with, and I have a Megabuck play out there tonight in the NBA. Baseball, I have a 3-pack. So log on and become an 8-play winner. I think we've all been doing pretty well.
There you go. Chips locked in for a Money Monday of action. Get the Gamblers World on. I get that Megabucks winner right now. And plus it's baseball. So a good day for a day pass there. Doug, how's the weekend for you?
It was a winning weekend overall, so that's the best news of all, and basically steady as it goes. To be perfectly honest, 140 and 99 on the I think it's what it is 140. I think it's 97. 140 and 97 altogether last 72 days across all sports. So that has been good. No hockey action today, but still 105 and 60. In hockey since late October. So that's been great. Baseball, 39 and 26. I got a run line route play for Monday. And the NBA, I will have a play up as soon as this video is over. So I'll be talking about some aspects of the NBA today, just not that one. Okay, in terms of what's going on. And so, yeah, so I'm just pleased with, I'm sure the customers that made the purchases are too, or the long-term people, whether they bought a month or, whatever else they bought. So it's just, it's just rolling along nicely. It's not outstanding, but certainly not in, as we go through slumps and whatever, it's not bad. So just happy with where things are.
The grind, slow and steady wins the race is nothing but prophetic for sports gambling. It's, there's highs and lows, but you just keep it steady and a couple good little peaks and a minimal drop. That's how you win long term here with the betting world. But let's get to it, Doug. Here, Knicks and Boston. Boston up 2-1 now. 6.5 point favorite. Knicks up 2-1. Knicks up 2-1. Correct. Yes. Boston again, still the favorite here. 6.5 total. 208.5. I gotta say, and this is for the Pacers game as well, although they ended up winning there. I like the Knicks here. You have a team that's down 0-2, and I know they played over the weekend, and I think I said this on the shows Thursday and Friday as well. The team down 0-2 has to come in and win 4 or 5, and then you got to cover because you're down 0-2 because you're the favored. I don't think it's happening. I took the Pacers the last 2 games. I had the Knicks the other day. I'll have them again today. I'm riding them for the series here, both of those teams, because I think it's tough to win 4 out of 5 and to cover 4 of those as well. And actually, if you're going to go 4 out of 5, you got to cover them because you're going to be favored in every game. I can't do it. Give me the dog for me, Doug, but go for it. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, this one, I do have a pick on the side in this one, so I'm not going to agree or disagree with you on this one. But one thing, and just right before the show started, for everybody that's watching, Chip said that he thought this was the very important game for the Knicks and maybe the most important game for the Knicks, and I agree with that. I mean, you're up 2-0, coming home. You absolutely, had a horrible game and really outplayed in Game 3. If they lose this game, I think the series is over. Okay, I think Boston just goes out and rolls in this one. Obviously, the most important thing for the Knicks is to get off to a good start, and that has been a huge problem for them. Okay, trailing by at least 20 points in each of the first 3 games. Here's something that I find really interesting about today's lines. So, as you mentioned, Boston is a 6.5 point favorite. Boston has won the first half, okay, in each of the first 3 games. The lowest or the least amount of a lead they've had is 9 points. This is at 6.5, so you'd figure it's at 4, right? Okay, with the Knicks, it's at 3. So what the odds makers are saying is that they think New York is going to come up with a bigger effort in the first half. Okay. Well, they almost can't you can't do any worse than what they've been doing in the first half. So, but to me, I think that's where the value is take Boston minus the 3 on the first half because they have dominated the first halves in this one. Also, one other thing I like, Jalen Brunson. Okay. He in this series, he's scored 29, 17, and 27 points. He's not shooting particularly well and that's because of the defense and Boston is playing against him. And so I think, for let's say Thibodeau to change things up, I would like to see him use Brunson, not every play, but have somebody else have the ball in the 2-on-2 game, and then use Brunson as a screener. But then just the terminology is fan him out, run a screen, fan him out, okay, use it to the left side of the floor with him being left-handed, do that, and then force Boston to go chase him. So one of 2 things happen. Either he gets an open shot if they don't do it properly, or he has a pass to dump off to somebody cutting to the basket. So I'd like to see that. But with the case, Brunson in his career has scored 30 points in playoff games, 16 of his 33 appearances. I like Brunson to go over 27.5 tonight.
A little player prop action, 27.5 points for Jalen Brunson. You mentioned the first half there for the Celtics as well, -3. I saw somewhere, or someone told me, I think the Knicks, the last 17 first halves are 3-14 ATS. Is that correct? Or maybe first quarter, like out of the gate slow to the last 17 playoff games? Just
that's possible. Yeah.
I said to him, well, this is why they're not, getting anywhere in the playoffs. When you start off slow like that, that's an uphill battle. You might win a series or 2, but that's a tough drain on a team. Come back every single game. You had to come back at 14 out of 17 games. Yep. You're already staring up at a deficit, and half of those games you're home. Terrible. Chip, New York guy.
Yeah. Well, these two teams have met the last 14 times, and Boston won 10 of those games. Now, think about the games they played this year. They swept them 4-0 in the regular season with a 16.7 margin difference. In the playoffs, they're up 27, 22, 31 in the 3 games they played, and yet the Knicks lead 2-1 in the series. I think the only way Thibodeau can get this together is really be disciplined and make sure they're taking good shots. You don't want what has happened in the past already in the first half and dig yourself a hole, Doug. I mean, it's just insurmountable. They've been very, very fortunate they came back and that they won those games. They were getting pounded by this team. And the anomaly is the only 4 wins they've had of the last 14 have been in Boston. They haven't won a game in New York in 3.5, 4 years against this team. They won their games in Boston. The 2 games in the playoffs here and the 2 games in the last 10 prior to this series starting. I think the only critical game for the Knicks, we discussed this earlier, I think they have to play defense, and I think they're going to have to confront Boston with their 3-pointers and guard them all over the floor, and that's what I expect to happen, and I expect that to be Thibodeau's game plan. I've got a side on this game, but I think it's going to be a low-scoring game.
Like I said, they're trailing by 20 plus in all three games, and somehow you have a lead, which is, again, easy to say Celtics have outplayed them. You have outplayed. When you have 20-something point leads, you're outplaying. But something's happened along the way where I hate to say you're choking, because that's not the case. You live and die by the 3, and that's what this team does. And it's going to keep firing and firing and firing. And when they go in, you're up 20. When you start missing them, team chips away. Next thing you know, you're in a dogfight, and it's a 4-point game. I kind of like the over here as well. I mean, I don't think it's a low-scoring game. I know they need defense, but the Knicks aren't winning 93-90. They're put up 95 points. They're not beating this team.
Do you think Boston will corral their style a little bit and try and cut down on the threes and move the ball inside? Or do you think they're going to do that at all? They're just going to keep bombing away.
They're going to keep bombing away. They haven't changed yet in 3 games. They're down. They're still firing.
Yeah, they average 40. They average 40 a game, which they have shot the last 2 games. The first game was ridiculous what they've done, but the game 3, that was the one thing I did notice is that most of the guys they made some plays off the dribble, so at least there was obviously some discussion about trying to beat them that way. But still, and I saw something this morning. In fact, is that in terms of playoff, I forget, it's shot quality. That's what it was. Shot quality. There's a website that has it, but then there's another place that has that discusses it. And Boston so far in the playoffs is their efficiency in shot quality is half of what it was last year in the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So I mean, and that kind of play shows itself as to how they're shooting the ball, just not taking as many good shots as what they should be taking, settling for threes.
Well, we're going to find out. Let's be honest. They'll be shooting 40-something threes. It won't be a shocker to anybody when Boston comes firing out of here. Here we go. We got the picks, though, for you. We're going to go Boston first half as an official pick here, minus the 3. Again, I do like Knicks full game here, but I cannot overlook the fact that 20, 26, 31-point leads for the Celtics in this series. And again, the Knicks full game odd is based on not just one game. It was last game. It is this game. It is the next 2 games ahead where the Celtics have to come in and cover 4 in a row. So I don't, that's how I play games. It's not just one game standalone. I look at a little bigger picture for the series wise and what Boston has to do to, and if they cover 4 in a row, hey, that's why they're a champion. And, that's what they are. And you got tip your cap. That's what the champion does, right? They rise up. Before we get to the next game, you saw it flash up here. We'll bring it back up. NBA playoff package available because we still have conference finals and the NBA championship round. So there you go. $249 will take you all the way through the end of there in June. A nice full month, a month and a half of NBA left for you. Go get it at GamblesWorld.net. We got the NBA leaderboards. What else is there to do? We're just missing you signing up. It would have been a great Mother's Day gift for yourself. Could have joined up, got the NBA package. Now we got to save it for Flag Day or whatever the next holiday is coming up. There'll be something. There'll be something for you. Right? Flag Day is June 14th.
Yes.
Always has been.
Memorial Day. Don't
I don't know
forget
if we
too.
have it anymore. It may not be because of never mind.
I know
Up the
Memorial
station.
Day's in a couple weeks, but I thought there was something else in May. Don't we got there's got to be
And
some kind
Mother's
of May.
Day.
Nah,
Father's
there's
Day
something else.
in June.
Now I got to look. We're not, I'm gonna throw this to you, Chip. I'm gonna dig at what holidays. We'll have some wacky cheeseburger day or some nonsensical garbage coming up in May pretty soon. But speaking of garbage, I don't know how I'm going to lead way into Minnesota and Golden State. I guess it's kind of trashy that Steph Curry gets hurt. So I guess we could say that. Like, oh my goodness, we lose, a Hall of Fame player for the playoffs, which kind of hurts because he's out there. You got to think they had a shot to maybe get to the next round and maybe further if him and Butler playing well. But the chips fall where they may. And here we go. We have the Timberwolves up to 5.5 and a 199.5 here on this one. Some of these totals in these playoffs, these are like circa early 2000 kind of lines here. This is not today's NBA fire away where we used to see 232.5, 246.5, 228s. Under 200 on the total here. Chip, what are your thoughts on Warriors and Timberwolves?
I think that number is indicating it's going to be a low-scoring game. I mean, when Curry's out, what an impact that is. The Golden State is 8-4 in playoffs without him, but they're 0-1 this time around without him. Minnesota's young, and we have the veteran team and a young team going head-to-head. And part of the youth with Minnesota is the immaturity of Anthony Edwards. I mean, when he's on, he's spectacular, and when he's not, it's like he's not even there. And I think the fact that it's 199 is telling you that this is going to be a low-scoring game. But you have the two big defensive players out there are going to be Green and, of course, Butler. And I think the game stays under the total. It's a really tough call because how do you back Golden State without their major clog? And Minnesota's, they're youthful, they're young, 6th seed, and the 7th seed. So Golden State being number 7, of course. And by the way, I'm trying to figure out how the NBA would have the number 2 or number 3 seed playing a higher seed. They're playing the 4th seed, and the 6 and 7 are playing each other. I thought that the highest seed should always be playing the lowest seed.
No, they changed that about 4 or 5 years ago, Chip.
Yeah, I know, and it bothers me.
The playing nonsense, yeah.
It bothers me because what did you earn that for? I mean, so what? It doesn't make a difference if you're seated 3rd or 4th or I don't know. I think it's a skew, shall we say?
Well, listen. Golden State beat the 2 seed. They beat the 7. It's just because it's with the play-in. The things get different.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah. They got to they got an in-season tournament, which stands for what? I don't know.
Oh, here we go. Don't start me up about the championship. Hang banners for this kind of nonsense. We don't want to turn this into an hour show here with this. Yeah. Under for Chip Chirimbes, under 199. Again, you see a low number like that, Doug, right? It's kind of one of those when it's really low, really high. You kind of don't be scared to go too low. Don't be scared to go over the total. It's out there for a reason. I tend to agree with Chip here on this one.
Yeah, it seems to be the smarter play, and because Golden State is literally walks the ball up the floor now on every possession. Okay. And they're doing basically what older teams do. If you think back of, any team that was a great team, and when they got older, they went away from transition basketball as much, and they walked the ball up, especially on trying to make it a possession by possession game. Minnesota, to me, in Game 3, they should have won and covered that game. Okay, but they just had some moments where they were nervous just at various points. And so, Golden State has yet to reach triple digits in a game in this series. Okay. And obviously based on 199.5 and being an underdog, that seems unlikely that's going to happen again. Okay. Or I should say it's likely to happen again. I think that victory was very important to them to win that game, even though, everything pointed towards they should. And I think this game will be a lot like Game 5 when they played the Lakers on the road, is to where now their confidence is high. They have proven that they can stop Golden State. They've proven they can beat them on the road. I think all those factors come into play here. And I also like the fact that home teams that in a game with two defenses that give up 108 to 114 points after scoring 105 or less points in 4 straight games, they are just 13 and 42. I'm going to say take Minnesota minus the points on that one. And I also am going to recommend to take Rudy Gobert to go over 10.5 rebounds in this one. I got some other reasons, but that'd be my other play for props.
There you go. We'll go officially mini under the 5.5. The player props are bonus ones. I got a couple of player props I'll add in a second as well, but that is Doug's thought on Warriors and the Timberwolves. And again, Doug was scrolling across. If you missed it, Shoot the Rock and Baseball Bites. So bits, kibbles and bits. At Gamblers World on that, not only best bets, but articles and free picks for you there as well to choose from. So on this one here, I did like the team total for the Warriors under the other. It was like 95.5. I thought that game would be like 102-89. It was sort of, I think Golden State scored 93. I almost sort of lean towards the points here based on they did get that late cover in that game. All right. They fired up a crazy 3 as time expiring. You get the half-point win. I feel like this would be kind of like their last kind of haymaker kind of punch from a champ's going to come out. This is it, right? Because let's be honest, Curry next hamstring, if he comes back, if there's a game 6 or 7, it's a hamstring. I mean, all this is someone else could do just need this guy by accident going up for a rebound, and that's going to aggravate the hamstring. Plus, when you're a shooter, don't you need your legs underneath you? I mean, how's that helping the guy? He's not going to be 100% no matter what happens. So I'm expecting like the old proverbial kitchen sink kind of game here from them. Hang tough a little bit. Again, I haven't pulled the trigger on this one yet, but I don't know. This is a little tougher one. I agree with everyone said. Minnesota, we proved ourselves versus the Lakers. We laid an egg in game 1, but we dominated game 2. We held on here. We were up. They came back. We still held on for a decent-sized win, even though they got in the number of 5.5. You were up 8 or whatever they were. Good series, though. Good for Minnesota. I think it's good that they're going to probably knock out a championship caliber team and a team that they're going to say was hurt. It would have been different. Well, that's life, people. Things happen. Guys get hurt. Guys don't perform sometimes.
Yeah. I agree with you, Sean, on that. I mean, this is Golden State's last hurrah because they lose this game. They're probably not going to be a game 6. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying there wouldn't be. I'm just saying the likelihood of it, them without Curry winning in Minnesota doesn't seem great.
And their playoff futures in doubt as well in future years because they are aging. I mean,
you got all these guys that are 36 years old. Yeah. I mean, this is the end of the line.
This is their window.
Yes. Yeah.
And honestly, in a year like this, the way these playoffs have played out, a healthy Curry here, you might think these guys can get to the finals, right? Because you're going to be playing who?
Oh, yeah.
A Thunder team that's looked a little shaky here versus a championship team like Denver, who doesn't have a steady leader in Kerr at their head coach position.
I don't even know if that Joker's a basketball player.
Yes, man. The Joker, he's good.
Sorry.
That's the word obligatory comes to mind when I hear that from Chip.
Yeah.
I get it though, because I joke and say stuff about like Steph Curry not being a better shooter than like Drazen Petrovic and stuff like that.
Well, you need a psychological examination if you believe that, because that guy's the best shooter in the history of basketball.
No, he's good. Someone asked me today. They said, "Who's better, him or Bird?" I'm like, Bird did different things. If Bird played in this era, I'd maybe lean Bird just because he'd be shooting the 3 and doing other things.
He didn't shoot that many, he really didn't shoot that many, but his all-around play was so great. I mean, how could you deny that? I'm just one little thing about shooting the ball. I think this guy was the best.
He shot the ball when he had to. He went to 3-point shooting contest, lit it up. But I think it's Curry because and not only that, he's got the titles, right? The thing with Jordan and LeBron's like, well, 6-0 in championships, and LeBron's got a bunch of losses to Curry, by the way. He was 4-2. So I think I'll have to put Curry over Bird based on that, And I love Bird. I mean, you watch Bird, it's a whole different kind of game and
I
Curry
think
game.
I think we're talking about two different things. I'm just talking about pure shooting.
Shooting.
That's all. And no doubt, I mean, Bird wouldn't even take his warm up off when they had the 3-point shooting contest. He said,
Crazy.
he said, hey, which one of you guys going to come in second? He didn't.
Yeah.
He just went out there and he was great, no question. I mean, no question.
Kevin drank a beer. Said, who's playing for second place? I mean, just fabulous. His trash talk.
Right. Him and John Daly.
Well, speaking of shooting, how about that Oklahoma City Denver game yesterday? Okay, wasn't that a treat? I mean, just 25 points in the first half or first quarter, excuse me. Both teams were unbelievably sad. And here's my favorite part, though, of the whole thing, is that Chet Holmgren he was interviewed at the end of the first quarter, and they said, well, your offense hasn't been good. Have this. And he goes, well, we just played a game 36 hours ago, so everybody's a little bit tired. And I'm thinking to myself, I worked in retail. Okay, I was on my feet all the time, and I would, for 7 months at a time, I would work 60 hours a week. Okay, it was because it was the requirement of the job. Okay, that's what it was. And so, and I wasn't making $30 to $50 million. I can assure you that, because I wouldn't be here if that were the case. Okay.
Oh man.
So that thing, so the excuse of saying that they were tired, both teams were tired, so that's why they didn't play, because they only had 36. And what was the NBA thinking? And Charles Barkley came up with the stupid quote of the week. He said the NBA was unfair to Denver because Oklahoma City has a better bench. Well, whose fault is that? That's the owner's fault. There's nothing to do with Oklahoma City.
He said that.
And who won the game?
Charles Barkley said that.
But who won the game? Denver won anyway.
No, Oklahoma City won yesterday.
Oh yeah, yes. That's right. Denver covered.
That's right. But it's just absurd, And my thought was when I heard that, as a professional athlete in today's world, if you know that you have a game in 36 hours, how do you not prepare yourself physically and mentally?
It's 3 days.
I mean, it's just, 30. Yeah, it's a quick turnaround.
It's 3 days.
Well, it's a day and a half, but it just is so ridiculous that was the excuse for
2 days in
terrible play.
12 hours should be enough.
Hey,
that's what I look at. I look at 12 hours as a day. Like, that's a whole day off. Like, what are you talking about? You're sleeping. You got 36 hours is 3 days rest.
Yeah, I can understand Denver being more tired because they have 6 guys. That's it. They use one guy as a 7th guy for a couple minutes, and that's about it.
You shoot 20 of 80 from 3. You weren't saying the Celtics were tired. No, the Celtics are just shooting a bunch of threes because that's what they do. That's what these teams did. They shot a bunch of threes and missed.
Yeah, I don't know. It was the worst NBA game and playoff game that I can remember ever seeing, and it had nothing to do with with the specific score. It was just horrible basketball. That's nothing more.
We're just talking about the Warriors. They legit probably had a shot here, more than a puncher's chance.
Yeah.
To advance past one of these teams. And then you see the 1 seed in the East and the Cavaliers down 40 at the half. So, yeah, if you're a Warrior fan, you're thinking, wow, we might have had a shot here. It's maybe a little pie in the sky thinking, but you have to give them a shot with that team.
Yeah, well, you got 3 Hall of Fame players. Yes, they're in their middle 30s or higher upper 30s, but there's still 3 Hall of Fame players that are capable. And now that you got Kuminga scoring 30, oh my God.
The NBA, it's just, I don't expect this in the playoffs. I don't know how to address it. You're not expecting to see 40-point games at the half with the 1 seed down.
Didn't Gonzaga and St. Mary's go 1 for 34 in their championship game?
That's Gonzaga. That's Gonzaga and St. Mary's, bro. It's not the Celtics and the Cavaliers and the Warriors.
It's all the same. Nobody's these 1 for 34, and these guys are shooting 20% of 100 shots.
But the guy on St. Mary's isn't getting $34 million. He's not getting $18 million.
You don't know that.
Come on, Jim. You're not getting that kind of money.
Well,
he's not getting $34 million.
Why does Manning have to leave Texas? He doesn't.
He doesn't.
What?
Why would he?
I said Manning's not going to leave Texas because he could make just as much there as he could go into the pros next year, I think. If he wanted, and he's probably not going to take a dime from anybody because that family doesn't need it.
Yeah, they don't need the money.
No, please don't bring that up, because anybody that has money, they have money for a reason.
They want
okay?
more. Yeah.
They want more. I don't care. Okay, you can look at anything you want. If somebody has a lot of money, they want more of it, and you give them more. They want more than that.
How much do you think he'd be getting, Manning, this year for Texas?
I would say five or six. Yeah.
5 million, 5 or 6 million.
Yeah,
That's going right for a quarterback.
Yeah.
And I went to college to become a teacher. I started $8,500 a year, $7,800 a year.
I could see, like, Quinn Ewers comes out. Like, could he stayed another year? Like, I would have went to another school and got money. Like,
No one who drafted him anyway. He went late.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He went to Miami.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did. Yeah.
Or
if I'm a quarterback, I'm looking to stay. Even if I'm looking to stay to improve. Let's be honest. A 4-year quarterback coming out now, I think you have a better shot than a guy coming out after a year or two.
No question. Look at Bo Nix. I mean, he was 6 years, and these guys now, Dylan Brooks. I mean, these guys are staying if they're not ready, and they're staying longer, and it makes sense because they can make money now in college and actually get the seasoning or the experience they need to be ready when they get to the pros. Because some of these guys now, they're so raw, and it's OJT, they're learning on the job, and that's a tough place to be learning, a quarterback in the NFL.
And this is a great thing, and we could probably get into this in another month or so with that, because I hate to nil, but I think for quarterbacks, stay in school. It definitely helps, I think, them develop more, especially if you're in one same program with a coordinator and learning.
Hey, look at Liner came out too early. A lot of these guys came out too early, and it really hampered their progress. Liner came to the Jets, and
we could do a whole list of coulda, woulda, should have been quarterbacks. But let's recap here a little bit. I did throw up a couple player props. Doug had his player prop. Let me see if I can find it here in the banner. Well, I'll pull up my player prop first here. Pritchard for Boston, PRA over 14.5. Hart for the Knicks over 11.5 points. Mike Conley, points and assists for the Wolves over 9.5. You have the Bridges prop. Is this you over 14.5 points?
I have no. I had Brunson 27.5 over, and I have
that's an old one. Okay.
Gobert for
here it is.
10.5 rebounds over. 10.
Here we go. Gobert rebounds 10.5, and the Brunson 27.5 points. Also under 199.5. We all seem to be in concurrent with that one and agree with Warriors and the Timberwolves. And for the Boston game, first half -3 there. Doug, that's going to be our official show picks. And let's do a Minnesota -5.5 as well. We'll make it a triple freebies here. Mini -5.5 and the under. Celtics first half -3, and a bunch of player props for you on a Money Monday. Gentlemen, see you on Thursday. Thanks for popping in, everybody. GamblersWorld.net for Chip's A-Play, Megabucks, Doug's NBA, and no hockey tonight, but he's got MLB though for you there. Check it out at GamblersWorld.net. Back tomorrow, more NBA with Brian Biller and Matt Fargo. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.